What would you do if you discovered that something in the vast emptiness of space was staring back at you? Tonight, I'm going to tell you about Dr. Elena Vasquez, a brilliant astronomer whose discovery would challenge everything we know about the universe and ultimately drive her to the edge of sanity. This is a story that NASA tried to bury, a tale of cosmic horror that began with a simple observation and ended with a woman's descent into madness. In the winter of 2019, Dr. Elena Vasquez was working alone at the remote Atacama Observatory in Chile. She had been tracking stellar movements for her research on gravitational anomalies when she noticed something that shouldn't have been possible. A star, catalogued as HD-1-7-4-9-3-6, appeared to be moving in ways that defied all known laws of physics. Elena first noticed it on a Tuesday night. She was reviewing telescope data from the previous week when she saw something that made her blood run cold. The star's position had shifted by exactly 3 arc-seconds, not toward any gravitational pull, not following any orbital pattern, but in a direct line toward Earth's coordinates from 6 months earlier, when she calculated Earth's position. 6 months ago, the star had been pointing directly at where our planet used to be. This was impossible. Stars don't move like this. They don't track planets across the galaxy like predators following prey. Elena spent the next 72 hours without sleep, rechecking her calculations, cleaning her equipment, and running diagnostic after diagnostic. Every test confirmed the same terrifying conclusion. HD-1-7-4-9-3-3-6 was somehow tracking Earth's movement through space with impossible precision. More disturbing still, when she projected its current trajectory, the star was now pointing directly at Earth's current position. But Elena's discovery was just the beginning of her nightmare. She decided to monitor the star continuously for 1 full week. What she found would haunt her for the rest of her short life. The star wasn't just tracking Earth, it was anticipating Earth's movement. Every night, the star would shift its position to point exactly where Earth would be in 6 hours, as if it knew our planet's trajectory better than our own space agencies. Elena tried to contact her colleagues. But who would believe such an impossible claim? A star that was somehow watching Earth? It sounded like science fiction, like the delusions of someone who had spent too many lonely nights staring into the abyss of space. On the 8th night of observation, something changed. Elena was monitoring the star through her telescope when she noticed a new pattern. The star's light was fluctuating in rhythmic pulses, 3 short bursts, 3 long bursts, 3 short bursts, again SOS, the universal distress signal. Hands trembled as she documented this new development. She ran outside the observatory and looked up at the night sky with her naked eyes. The star was invisible to human sight, too distant and dim, but knowing it was there, knowing it was somehow aware of her watching it, filled her with a primal terror that no amount of scientific training could rationalize. Over the following nights, the star's behavior became increasingly erratic and somehow more personal. The light patterns changed from SOS to more complex sequences. Elena, who had studied Morse code as a hobby, began to decode the messages. The first message she translated made her question her own sanity. "We say you." Elena, how could a star know her name? How could a celestial body located over 400 light-years away be communicating with her specifically? Elena began to document everything obsessively, filling notebook after notebook with calculations, observations, and increasingly desperate theories. The messages from HD-1-7-4-9-3-6 continued night after night, each more personal and disturbing than the last. "You are alone, Elena. No one will believe you. We have been watching for so long." Elena stopped sleeping, stopped eating regularly, and became convinced that she was the only person on Earth who knew about this cosmic intelligence that had somehow focused its attention on our planet. 3 weeks into her observations, Elena made her most terrifying discovery yet. She was reviewing historical astronomical data when she found something that shattered her remaining grip on reality. HD-1-7-4-9-3-6 had been exhibiting this same tracking behavior for decades. But no one had noticed because no one had been looking for it. The star had been following Earth's orbit since at least 1978, always staying oriented toward our planet, always watching. Alina realized that this thing, this intelligence behind the star, had been observing Earth for her entire lifetime. It had been watching when she was born, when she took her first steps, when she decided to become an astronomer. Had it somehow influenced her career choice? Had it been waiting for someone like her to notice it? The implications drove Alina deeper into paranoid obsession. She began to see patterns everywhere in the star's fluctuations, in the timing of cloud cover that obscured her observations. Even in the behavior of the few colleagues who still visited the observatory, everyone seemed to be part of some vast conspiracy to discredit her work. Alina's final discovery came on her 37th night of observation. She had been tracking the star's position with unprecedented precision when she noticed something that filled her with absolute terror. HD-1-7-4-9-3-6 wasn't just tracking Earth, it was getting closer. Her calculations showed that the star was somehow moving toward our solar system at a rate that should have been impossible for any celestial body. But the most horrifying realization was yet to come. Alina discovered that the star's approach wasn't random or accidental. Based on its current trajectory and speed, HD-1-7-4-9-3-6 would reach Earth's vicinity in exactly 247 years. The intelligence behind the star wasn't just watching, it was coming. On her 40th night of observation, Alina received her final message from the star. The light pattern was longer and more complex than any previous communication. When she finished translating the Morse code, Alina stared at her notes with growing horror. The message read, "Thank you for noticing, Alina. The others will know soon. We are coming home." Alina's research notes from that night are filled with increasingly frantic calculations and desperate theories about what the message could mean. Who were the others? What did it mean by coming home? Had this intelligence been to Earth before? Alina's handwriting becomes more erratic with each page, reflecting her deteriorating mental state. The next morning, Alina was found dead in the observatory. The official cause was listed as cardiac arrest, brought on by extreme exhaustion and stress. She was only 32 years old. Her research notes were confiscated by government officials who claimed they were investigating irregularities in her work. To this day, most of Alina's discoveries remain classified. But here's where the story becomes even more disturbing. 3 months after Alina's death, astronomers around the world began reporting unusual behavior from HD-1-7-4-9-3-6. The star appeared to be pulsing in regular patterns. And several independent observers claimed that the pulses resembled Morse code. However, before any coordinated study could be conducted, all research into HD-1-7-4-9-3-6 was quietly discontinued by international agreement. The official explanation was that the star had been reclassified as a natural, variable star whose fluctuations were caused by normal stellar processes. No mention was made of Alina's work or her claims about the star's impossible tracking behavior. Her observatory in Chile was closed permanently, and the building was demolished less than a year after her death. Yet rumors persist in the astronomical community. Some claim that Alina's telescope data was too accurate to be dismissed, that her calculations about the star's approach were mathematically sound. Others whisper that similar tracking behavior has been observed in other distant stars, but that research into these phenomena is being systematically suppressed. The most disturbing rumors suggest that Alina wasn't the first astronomer to notice HD-1-7-4-9-3-6 single quotes as unusual behavior. According to these whispered accounts, at least 6 other astronomers have died under mysterious circumstances after reporting similar observations about stars that seemed to be watching Earth. Their research was always confiscated, their findings always classified, and their deaths always attributed to natural causes or accidents. If these rumors are true, then Elena Vasquez wasn't just an astronomer who made an impossible discovery. She was the latest victim of something far more sinister, something that doesn't want us to know that we're being watched from across the vast emptiness of space. Today, HD-1-7-4-9-3-6 continues its slow journey through the cosmos. According to Elena's final calculations, it's still approaching our solar system, still tracking Earth's movement with impossible precision. If her math was correct, we have 243 years left before it arrives. But the most terrifying question remains unanswered. What will happen when it gets here? Elena's final notes contained one last chilling observation. She had calculated that HD-1-7-4-9-3-6 wasn't the only star exhibiting this behavior. Her preliminary research suggested that at least 12 other stars were also tracking Earth's movement, all approaching from different directions, all expected to arrive within a few decades of each other. Vasquez died believing that humanity was being hunted by intelligences so vast and patient that they could use entire stars as their eyes across the galaxy. Whether her discovery was the product of scientific genius or complete madness, we may never know. But on clear nights, when you look up at the stars, remember Elena's warning: something out there might be looking back. The truth about what Elena Vasquez discovered in that remote Chilean observatory may never be fully revealed. Her research remains classified, her colleagues remain silent, and HD-1-7-4-9-3-6 continues its impossible journey toward Earth. But sometimes, late at night, astronomers around the world report seeing strange patterns in the stars, rhythmic flashes that almost seem like attempts at communication. Perhaps Elena was right. Perhaps we are being watched by intelligences so alien and vast that we can barely comprehend their methods of observation. Or perhaps the isolation and pressure of her work drove a brilliant mind to create an elaborate delusion that felt more real than reality itself. Either way, Elena Vasquez paid the ultimate price for her curiosity about the cosmos. She looked too deeply into the abyss of space, and something looked back. Her story serves as a warning about the dangers of seeking knowledge that we might not be ready to handle, and about the possibility that in our search for life among the stars, we might discover that life has already found us. The next time you're outside on a clear night, take a moment to look up at the stars. Remember Elena Vasquez and her impossible discovery, and ask yourself, in that vast field of distant suns, how many of them might be looking back at you?